Good evening. We are excited to have you with us this evening as we kick off our summer reading program for adults with the popular Summer Reading Showcase. You can participate in our summer reading program online using Read Squared or pick up a paper game board at any of our branches. Complete any combination of 10 activities or books to be entered into the end of summer prize drawings. Prizes include $100 gift certificates for the Restaurant Association of Maryland and other surprise bundles. Don't forget to pick up your list of curated summer reads at your library branch. We have a snapshot of some of our titles. And here it is. This is just some of the excellent titles that we have selected for you. And tomorrow, keep your eye out for an email from us. This email will have a list of all the books that will be discussed today and a link to this summer reading book list. Before I hand it over to the amazing team at Central, please mark your calendars for a few upcoming events. Mark it to mealtime on Tuesday, June 14th at 11 a.m. Our book group with the Office of Human Rights, Reading Human Rights, where they will discuss on Juneteenth by Annette Gordon Reed on June 23rd. And then on June 15th, we have docents from the Princeton University Art Museum presenting European Treasures, where you can travel across Europe through a sampling of sculpture, works on paper, and paintings from the 12th to the 20th century. On June 15th, we are delighted to host the author, R. Eric, who will discuss his new book, Kings of Baltimore. And now I will hand over to the amazing Beth Haynes.
Hello, fellow readers. As my colleague Rohini said, my name is Beth Haynes. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the acting manager of the Savage Branch. As we kick off Adult Summer Reading 2022, we invite you to surf our sea of diverse summer reads. Some are deep, some are murky, some are calm, and some are turbulent. Now, many of you are many times over showcase attendees, and we say, ahoy, mateys. For our newcomers, we say, welcome aboard, and I'll fill you in on how we'll navigate the evening for you. As my shipmates and I share some of our favorites, we'll state the title, the author, and whether it's fiction or nonfiction. Are we ready to set sail? Here we go. Razorblade Tears by S.A. Crosby, fiction. Ike and Buddy Lee are so different. Ike is a successful business owner with a devoted wife. Buddy Lee is a lonely, adrift alcoholic. Ike and Buddy are so alike. They are both ex-cons who loved their sons, sons who were married to each other, sons who were senselessly murdered. Ike and Buddy Lee vow to avenge their son's death, and they end up establishing an unexpectedly lovely bond. Now, this one is rated I for intense, V for violent, I'm not going to lie to you, and P for profound. Razorblade Tears by S.A. Crosby.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michaela Baxter. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm an instructor and research specialist at the Central Branch. My first title is French Braid by Anne Tyler, and that is fiction. Examine the threads of the Garrett family, paying close attention to the seemingly normal middle-class family that is presented to the world, while their connection to one another slowly unravels over the decades. French Braid by Anne Tyler.
Hi, my name is Angela Best. I'm an instructor and research specialist here at the Central Branch. My pronouns are she, her. Well Matched by Jen DeLuca, fiction. It is a light, fun read. April is divorced and has raised her daughter in a small town by herself for the last 12 years. Her daughter is getting ready for prom, graduation, and college. April decides that as an empty nester, it's time to prepare to relocate, but her plans are about to be tested. If you are interested in high school PE teachers, family dynamics, Renaissance fairs, and pretending to be a couple for a weekend-long family event, this is the book for you. Kilts, gowns, human chess games, and small tongue romance can all be found in Jen DeLuca's book, Well Matched.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wendy Camisar, she, her, instructor and research specialist at the Central Branch. My first pick is The Maid by debut author Nita Prose, fiction. Meet 25-year-old Molly Gray, a quirky, fastidious maid at the 5-star Regency Grand Hotel. Molly doesn't always understand social cues. She prefers everything clean and orderly, simple and neat. Her world is turned upside down when she stumbles across an infamous guest, dead, like very, very dead in his bed, to quote Molly. Now she finds herself the prime suspect in a murder mystery, a la Agatha Christie, with a hint of Columbo. This is a heartwarming page-turner whodunit, one that can only be solved through human connection. The Maid by Nita Prose.
Right. Hi there. My name is Emily Bell. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an instructor and research specialist at the Central Branch. And for my first pick, I've got The Cartographers by Pang Shepard, fiction. Nell Young's life is thrust into chaos when her estranged father dies under mysterious circumstances in his office at the New York Public Library. She soon discovers that her father was in possession of an extremely rare map, the very same map that fractured their relationship years back. Nell wonders what is so special about this old map. Could it be the reason her father was killed? Nell encounters danger at every step as she unlocks the secrets of the map and uncovers her family's long-hidden secrets. Pang Shepard expertly weaves fantasy, adventure, and mystery into one thrilling read, and maps have never been so exciting. The Cartographers by Pang Shepard.
Hi, my name is Angie Angles. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm also an instructor and research specialist at Central. My first book is The Chosen and the Beautiful by Ning Hai Vo. You weren't meant to look at people the way that Gatsby looked at Daisy. No sentence in the book I read fits this better than that sentence. The writing is gorgeous, but what you're getting in this book is a magical retelling of The Great Gatsby, only an aspect of it you probably never thought of before, where the main character, Jordan Baker, sees everything going on with the way we know, Jay Gatsby, Nick, and Daisy, but through a magical, for instance, Jordan can cut paper objects and they come to life, which sets up a very amusing scene when Daisy doesn't want to go to a party. So a paper version of her fully fleshed out, no pun intended, goes. I really love this book, and I'm not sure quite why I picked it up though, because I am not a Great Gatsby fan, but this is beautifully written, and Jordan will make you like her, even though her hardened exterior hides a complex young woman's quest to find acceptance in a world where she's barely tolerated. The Chosen and the Beautiful by Ning Hai Vo.
Hi, I am Ash. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm also an instructor and research specialist at the Central Branch. My first pick for tonight is Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, fiction. This genre-blending mystery plays out in 1970s Mexico City amidst the chaos of a repressive government, student protests, and shadowy figures aimed at squashing political dissent. Central to the plot is the search for Leonora, a young woman with ties to a radical leftist art collective. When she leaves town for a few days but doesn't return, her neighbor, an average secretary named Maite, finds herself in unexpected danger. Meanwhile, a parallel search is being led by a young criminal who's named himself after Elvis because he loves rock and roll more than violence, but he will do what needs to be done to finish a job. With its morally ambiguous characters and action-packed suspense, this book drew me into its dark, turbulent world. And even though the characters are pretty unlikable, that's actually part of the appeal of the book overall, as it is a noir with that gray morality as a central pillar of the book. So I really recommend this if you're looking for a thrilling summer read that combines historical events with something gritty and exciting. Now join the search for Leonora in Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And now I have the pleasure of announcing the first of our door prize winners for the evening. These swag bags will be available for pickup at the Central Branch starting tomorrow. We will notify all of our winners by email to confirm. So check your inbox to confirm that you're one of the lucky recipients. Our first winner for tonight is Molly H. Molly H, congratulations. Again, check your email to confirm that you are the Molly H who has won tonight. And come on in when you have a chance to pick up your prize and kick off a summer of fabulous reading.
Now we move to our second round. My next pick is Life is What You Bake It. Recipes, stories, and inspiration to bake your way to the top by Valerie Lomas. Nonfiction. Again, nonfiction, this is all true. Valerie Lomas was a hardworking attorney, but she quit her lawyer job to follow her passion for baking. Soon she'd sold a cookbook proposal and was regularly booked on food media. She gets selected to compete on the Great American Baking Show. She competes, she wins, then she's canceled. Well, Valerie wasn't, the show was, because of allegations of past abusive behavior by one of the judges. So the world didn't learn that Valerie Lomas was the first Black person ever to win on the popular franchise. Enjoy Valerie's story and advice, all while being tempted by recipes for daiquiri souffle, accordion biscuits, and pecan candy cheesecake. It even includes QR codes for helpful videos. Check it out. Life is What You Bake It by Valerie Lomas.
My next pick is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and that is fiction. August has just moved to New York City to escape her old life and make a fresh start. While working as a waitress, she has decided to make her way in the world alone without love interests or even friendships. That is until she unexpectedly meets dazzling and charming Jane during her commute on the subway. August soon realizes that Jane's 1970s punk rock clothing isn't just a costume, but that Jane is from the 1970s and is stuck in a time loop on the subway. Will August be able to help Jane escape from the train? Find out by reading One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston.
Up next, Such a Quiet Read by Megan Miranda. Fiction. It is a very suspenseful read set in a suburban cul-de-sac near to a college. Ruby, a young lady in her 20s, has been accused and convicted of a double homicide, and when her conviction is overturned, has the audacity to return to live in the same neighborhood where the crime was committed. She seems to revel in making all her neighbors very uncomfortable. The quiet, unassuming, idyllic neighborhood, complete with a lake, wandering deer, pool, security cameras, a neighborhood watch, and romantic liaisons, all add to the chilling ambiance of the book. This is a really good book, and literally had me guessing at every turn. Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda.
The Startup Wife by Tamima Anam, fiction. It's the social network on steroids. Brilliant Asha and charming Cyrus marry following a whirlwind courtship. Together they dream up an idea for a social media app connecting people to personalized rituals. All you have to do is answer a brief questionnaire. Want a Game of Thrones funeral? No problem. An Odyssey wedding? You got it. While Asha writes the algorithm behind the scenes, Cyrus's charisma throws him into the spotlight. The app is an overnight success, earning them millions. But as the pressure builds, will their marriage survive? Find out by picking up The Startup Wife by Tamima Anam.
All right, for my next pick, I've got The 90s by Chuck Klosterman, nonfiction. In the 90s, Chuck Klosterman serves as our guide on a journey through some of the decade's most important and most trivial moments. As someone born in the early 90s, there was so much happening that I was just too young to comprehend. So I found it super interesting to read this book and learn more about the decade I grew up in. Klosterman provides a look at pop culture moments like Michael Jordan's brief stint playing minor league baseball, the cultural phenomenon of Titanic, and the story of how parental advisory stickers made their way onto album covers. He also includes more serious reflections on Anita Hill's testimony against Clarence Thomas, the O.J. Simpson trial, and the negative effects of televising important court proceedings. You're almost guaranteed to learn something new, or at least gain a new perspective on the titular misunderstood decade, The 90s by Chuck Klosterman.
Last Girl Ghosted by Lisa Unger. Okay, Lisa Unger books. Well, this is how I would describe what happens when you read one. When I read this book, I was sitting sideways in my armchair, which I know is not dainty, but it's the way I like to read because I'm facing my cat who's in his cat tree above me. So I screamed because I was startled at one part, and my cat's like, geez, human, I'm trying to sleep here. So I'm just trying to capture the experience of reading this book. Wren Greenwood is a young woman who is in the dating scene, been a little jaded. She uses a dating app called Torch and thinks she's met the perfect person for her. But little does she know after 3 months of being in a relationship, she's going to be ghosted. Undeterred, she wants to find out what happened because, ghosted is when somebody suddenly just stops talking to you or disappears from your life, whether it's a friendship or a relationship. Wren is on a mission to find out what happened to Adam Harper. Is that Adam Harper? This is really his name. That is just one of the many things that makes a Lisa Unger book, especially this one, make you just not want to put the book down. Last Girl Ghosted by Lisa Unger.
My second recommendation for the night is Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki, which is fiction. This is a joyous, quirky, wild ride of a book with 3 protagonists from very different backgrounds. Keep up with me for a minute. One is a legendary yet mysterious violin master who has made a Faustian bargain with hell. One is a young trans woman who flees her abusive home, ends up on the streets, and then ends up meeting this violin master where she becomes the student of this master. And lastly, one is an alien refugee from another planet who must balance being a mother, running a donut shop, building a Stargate out of the donut over their donut shop made out of plaster, and falling in love with the violin master. So there's a lot going on, but it all comes together beautifully. There's sci-fi and fantasy elements. There's a contemporary coming of age arc. There's romance, there's found family, and there's sumptuous descriptions of food and music, which is what really brings this book to life. If you like any of the aforementioned things, then I really recommend this book. And if you like 2 or more of those things, then you need to read this book. It will delight you. And if you're there thinking, this book sounds crazy, you are right, but it is crazy good. So if you're a reader who can lean into all of this, you are going to love Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki. And that concludes our second round of titles. Our second round prize winners are Catherine K. and Joanne L. Catherine and Joanne, check your emails for confirmation that you are indeed our winners for tonight. And then we look forward to giving you your prizes.
And before we enter the third round, I have it on good authority that some of our swag bags contain passes to the National Aquarium in Baltimore. Woo! So here we go with the next title. Silent Parade by Keigo Higashino, fiction. 2 murders, 20 years apart. The same man is suspected in both cases. In the first case, the accused was found not guilty due to lack of evidence. Detective Kusanagi is the detective on both cases. He enlists the aid of his friend, a college physics professor, to ensure that the culprit, or is it culprits plural, does not elude justice this time. A thinking person's slow burn. Silent Parade by Keigo Higashino.
My next pick is The Love of My Life by Rosie Walsh, fiction. How well do you truly know someone? A coworker, a friend, your spouse? Leo, an obituary writer for a London newspaper, is given the task of creating a stock obituary for his wife, Emma, a well-known marine ecologist and former TV presenter. While researching for this assignment, Leo soon uncovers that almost everything he knew about Emma was a lie. Will Emma be able to explain why she covered up her old life for so long and why she deceived her husband? Find out by reading The Love of My Life by Rosie Walsh.
My third pick, Mary Monroe's Mrs. Wiggins, fiction. This book has elements of things you would have read about before. Difficult childhoods in the South, marriage, fighting to protect your family, but with an overall unusual storyline. Maggie Wiggins and her husband Hubert have a life that is based on keeping a secret covered up. After their son Claude graduates from high school, has been working for a few years, he makes a bad decision. Then other things happen to affect her life. To find out how she resolves these issues, you'll have to read Mrs. Wiggins by Mary Monroe.
Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau, fiction. Think Almost Famous meets Daisy Jones and the Six. For those of you who are nostalgic for Baltimore's Roland Park in the 1970s, this wildly entertaining coming-of-age novel is the perfect book for summer. Sheltered teen Mary Jane lands a summer job as a nanny for a psychiatrist and his wife, who happen to be hosting a famous rock star, trying to get sober and clean up his act. With him is his movie star wife, and together provide a front row seat to sex, drugs, and rock and roll. There are tons of local references and even a bonus surprise at the end of the audiobook, which I highly recommend downloading. Check out Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau.
All right, for my thrilling third pick, I've got The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, fiction. In her thrilling follow-up to The Guest List, Lucy Foley transports readers to Paris, France, and offers us a glimpse at its dark secrets and seedy underbelly. We follow 20-something Jess, who's left England in a hurry to stay with her half-brother Ben at his luxurious Parisian abode. When she arrives, Ben is nowhere to be found, and Jess is left to solve the mystery of his disappearance on her own. What secrets does this old apartment complex hold? And why won't the other occupants tell her anything? Do they have something to hide? Lucy Foley creates a dark and twisty atmosphere that quickly draws you in and doesn't let you go till the last page. The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley.
Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. Benny and Byron Bennett are summoned by a lawyer to hear a tape that their mother, who just recently passed away, has left. An 8-hour tape that is so intense, they have to have it broken down in parts along the way. I won't tell you what's on that deathbed confession because it's best to go into Black Cake knowing less more rather than more. This is probably my favorite of the 4 books I've chosen to read or discuss tonight. I will say that the twists and turns of the story are as rich and tantalizing as the Black Cake the book is named after. The plus with Black Cake is that not only is it a riveting summer read, but it also is very book club discussable, as the book considers the legacy of colonialism and the struggle to define our identities on our own terms. There's also family dynamics and family dysfunction, which many of us will probably be able to relate to more than we would want to admit. Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson.
Closing out our 3rd round of selections, we have The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak, fiction. If you're looking for a poignant novel that addresses family, intergenerational trauma, immigration, history, forbidden love, or ecology, this is the book for you. It alternates perspectives between Kostas, a Greek Cypriot man who studies and loves plants, Ada, his 16-year-old daughter, who was born in London and knows nothing of Cyprus or her family's origins there. And last but not least, a fig tree. Yes, a fig tree narrates a portion of this book. Specifically, a fig tree that Kostas smuggled with him from Cyprus to London, stashed in a black suitcase when he moved with his wife and child. And this tree quickly became my favorite character. Granted, I've been a lover of trees for as long as I can remember, so I might be biased in that regard, but I think many readers will really be intrigued by the wise but sometimes snarky voice of this ficus. And yes, she is a female fig tree. She provides valuable insight into the history of this family and the conflict between the Turkish and Greek Cypriots of her homeland. Like Angie's last pick, this is also one that would be great for book clubs as well as your summer reading. An enthralling story that encourages reflection on the beauty and interconnectedness of nature and the world. I highly recommend The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. And now our third round prize winners, we have Bianca B and Phyllis K. Bianca and Phyllis, congratulations. You have been added to our roster of prize winners to come pick up your swag at Central. Check that email for confirmation.
And speaking of prizes, before we head into wild card round, and I'll explain what that is, remember some of the prizes for finishing the adult summer reading game is a drawing, and they include gift cards, restaurant gift cards, $100 restaurant gift cards. Yay that. So wild card round. What do we mean by that? Well, whereas our other selections were all on our official summer 2022 reading adult summer reading list, the following might be, might not be, but they are all great reads for summer. My first is Funny Farm, My Unexpected Life with 600 Rescue Animals by Laurie Zaleski. Now, I was shelving new books, and when I saw this title, I was immediately intrigued. So I opened it, and I saw a chapter entitled Mayonnaise Sandwiches. Well, I will proudly admit that mayonnaise sandwiches are one of my faves. Have I completely destroyed my credibility? Well, nevertheless, I was hooked. Now, with this book, I got the expected and fascinating stories about rescuing animals, like a dog with a non-functioning esophagus who needs a special chair so he can eat. I also got the unexpected story of how Laurie's mom rescued herself and her children from a secret life of abuse and neglect, and how she taught herself and her kids to be independent. Funny Farm by Laurie Zaleski. And don't forget to put your questions in chat.
My wild card pick is Where the Deer and the Antelope Play, the pastoral observations of one ignorant American who loves to walk outside, by Nick Offerman, nonfiction. With his wife Megan and their dog Clover by their side, Nick Offerman sets off on a road trip to safely visit friends and family in an Airstream camper during the COVID-19 pandemic. This book provides Nick's interesting take on his personal philosophies on nature, farming, and national parks. If you enjoyed the television show Parks and Recreation, in which he was a star, you may enjoy this book as well. And I would also recommend the audiobook version of this book because you can actually hear him narrate his own book. Where the Deer and the Antelope Play, the pastoral observations of one ignorant American who loves to walk outside, by Nick Offerman.
For my wild card, Falling by T.J. Newman, fiction. As can be seen from its cover, this is a fast-paced novel about a pilot, Bill, who finds himself in an untenable position mid-flight. The author was a flight attendant for 10 years and brings all of that knowledge to bear in her debut novel. The prelude to the novel is a dream. Actually, a nightmare would be a better word. And from there, it is a very fast-paced book. Scenes change from the west to the east coast, from the plane to what's happening on the ground. There's an interesting and diverse cast of characters who are well developed over the course of the book. The plane has been hijacked under very unusual circumstances, and you have to read it to find out what happens next. This author's first novel is without a doubt a book worth reading this summer, but not when you're flying. Falling by T.J. Newman.
And my wild card pick is Olympus, Texas by Stacy Swan, fiction. A big-hearted debut with Technicolor characters and a whole lot of Texas swagger. The Briscoe family is quite the talk of their small Texas town when prodigal son March returns 2 years after being caught in an affair with his brother's wife. His father Peter's own past indiscretions plague the family, while his wife June is tired of being the long-suffering spouse. Within days, loyalties will be tested, marriages will be upended, and you guessed it, somebody ends up dead. With all the modern family drama and messy dynamics, my favorite part of the novel is its tip of the Stetson to classical mythology. Olympus, Texas by Stacy Swan.
All right, for my wild card pick, I've chosen In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, fiction. Jessica Miller dreads attending her prestigious university's 10-year reunion because it means reuniting with her college clique. The group splintered after their friend Heather was murdered during their senior year. Heather's murder was never solved, but now, 10 years later, her younger brother is determined to close the case at all costs. With chapters alternating between past and present, scandalous secrets, betrayals are exposed, leading up to the explosive reveal of Heather's killer. The fictional Ivy League college provides the perfect amount of eerie, dark academia vibes, making it the perfect backdrop for the sinister whodunit. This might be the best read for a dark and stormy summer day. It's one of those thrillers that hooks you instantly and keeps you planted in your seat until the mystery is solved. In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead.
The View was Exhausting by Elif and also Untitled. Wren Tagore is a British Indian actress who, unlike us, is in the limelight, and when she leaves an angry voicemail because her boyfriend cheated on her, which I can see myself doing, nothing gets me more riled up than infidelity.
Can't hear Angie.
Oh,
And
I am so sorry about that. The View was Exhausting by Michaela Clements and Anjali Dada is a riveting book that opens with with Tagore, finding out her boyfriend cheated on her, and in a moment of angry passion leaves a voicemail form that goes viral and threatens to destroy her reputation. She decides, and her publicist, they decide that she needs to create a relationship with Leo Malalansky, a former supermodel and wealthy hotel magnate. He agrees to pose as her boyfriend, and then hopefully from there things will get better, or will they? The View was exhausting, by Micah Ella Clements and Anjali Dada.
And finally, rounding out the night, we have probably my personal favorite. I love this book so much, The Last True Poets of the Sea by Julia Drake, fiction. And this is actually a young adult book that I think has great crossover between older teens and adults because of the way that it's written as well as the content. Violet Larkin is a wild child, to put it lightly, partying and doing all manner of things that a 16-year-old girl probably shouldn't be. Then, after her younger brother attempts suicide and her own reckless behavior worsens, her family sends her away from the New York City to stay with her uncle for the summer in a small coastal town, fictional town of Lyric, Maine. Descended from a shipwreck survivor who supposedly founded Lyric, Violet is convinced that disaster runs in her blood. As she struggles with her own inner turmoil, she becomes determined to uncover the long-lost location of that shipwreck and the whole truth of her family history. With help of new unexpected friends, Violet discovers so much more about herself, about love in all forms, and about surviving the emotional wrecks of life. Violet is an amazingly complex protagonist, especially for a teenager. And she really opened my eyes to how differently mental illness and trauma can impact and manifest through different people. I think this is a really, really underrated book. It got so much good reviews from professional book reviewers like School Library Journal, Kirkus Reviews, and I feel like nobody really talks about it. So that's why I'm talking about it as my wildcard pick tonight. These characters settled into my heart and have made a permanent home there since I read this for the first time over a year ago. I still can't stop thinking about it, so that's how you know that it's legit. It's just a really beautiful story about emotional healing. The seaside atmosphere is great for summer. And if there's any title that I urge you to read from all the ones we promoted tonight, it is going to have to be this one, The Last True Poets of the Sea by Julia Drake. So our final prize winners for tonight are Joan F. and Laurel R. Joan and Laurel, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you here at the Central Branch to pick up your prize after you've confirmed by checking your email. And now that concludes this portion of our promotions for tonight. We are taking questions. I see that we have a few that came in already. Someone wanted to know, Angie, which was that one that you said was your favorite?
Oh, I just put it in chat, but I can put it in question and answer too.
Just answer, Ange.
Oh, sorry. I am so sorry. I've been so weird the last time and this time. It's Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. To be honest, I didn't want to do anything else but read it that day and a half. I loved it. It's fantastic.
Another question we had, or question, I guess, was how to find more time to read with crazy busy lives. Does anybody have any tips or life hacks? I also relate to this. I struggle with this, especially being surrounded by books every day at work and wanting to read so many and being tired. So does anybody else have anything they want to say on this one?
Ash, I think you had an excellent suggestion with the audiobook. Oh, and there we have, yep. Thank you, Kathy.
I
think the
have
hack
one.
that I
Oh.
use is that if I don't get into a book, I don't try and insist that I finish it. So I move on to another book because there's so many good reads. So that's a little bit of a hack there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Rohini. Like I've had to be like, you know what, this might be a really, really great book for XYZ reasons, but if something about it, and it couldn't even be like, it could be something as simple as just the font or the spacing. Like, if you're really sensitive to stuff like that, like I am, then sometimes like, you know what, I want to enjoy this, but I'm not enjoying it. So after some point, like, I think usually 50 pages is what's recommended to give a book a shot. And then after that, if you're really not feeling it, then like, it's okay to not finish a book and like move on to something else that's actually going to enrich your life more.
Well, I have a friend who has a rule of thumb, and that is she takes 100 pages minus her age, because she feels like the older she gets, the less time she's got to waste.
I keep a book in the bathroom so I can hide from kids. That's a tip from Susan. I guess another thing also that like I am not great about implementing. So like this seems like one of those life hacks for people who are like super organized. That's like not the majority of us, but like if you can really fit in a scheduled time for reading like in your day and be consistent, that like consistency, you know, helps being like, I like to read in the morning, or I like to read at night or on my lunch break, like having that in your mind of like, this is the time that like I want to try to hold it as sacred as possible in my day, unless like it absolutely cannot happen for outside reasons.
Marguerite had a question about biographies, and yes, the list absolutely includes biographies.
In the books that were presented today, I think How to Bake a Cake, the one that Beth mentioned, was kind of a memoir.
Absolutely, Rohini. Life is what you bake it. And she has I mean, I love to cook. I love to bake. She has excellent tips that I never thought of. And then she'll also talk about how that tip came about, how it relates to her family and how it had an effect on her. So we have a question. Is there a way to increase how many holds we can request? Love that.
I think it's a lot.
Yeah.
In Howard County Library System, it is a lot, and you can have 60 items out on your account at any one time.
Oh yeah, I guess like if you're getting things through Overdrive or Libby or Cloud Library, yeah, for ebooks and e-audiobooks, that's like a different situation of I don't know if our selectors are in control of that or if it's like the actual vendor. That's above my pay grade.
I think it also might have to do with there's a consortium, a Maryland consortium of libraries where we pool our resources so that we can have access to more materials. And there might be limitations through that agreement as well.
But yeah, if you do want to like read broadly and like get as many different e-materials as you want, like make sure you're checking out all of our e-resources. Most of our ebooks and e-audiobook, especially for like popular current titles, are on Overdrive, which is used through the app Libby now. The old Overdrive app has been going bye-bye, and so it's called Libby that you use for Overdrive. But we also have access to Cloud Library and Hoopla, and Hoopla also has videos and stuff. So Hoopla is kind of a different method format platform than Cloud Library and Libby, but those are all places to look for ebooks. So might not always have, you know, the ones that we promoted tonight, but there's lots of cool stuff on there.
One of the things that I have found useful in handling my holds on Libby is that they do let you, suspend a hold, which they did not earlier. So you can kind of say, okay, I'm already reading a book. So can I kind of get this book after a week or 10 days or 4 days or 5 days? And so that way, my holds don't expire and I don't lose books that I've been waiting on for a long time. And that helps me get more out of that limited holds that I have. I have been busy putting books on hold as the team has been presenting, and it's been a wonderful evening. I did want to remind you to check your inbox. It will have a list of all of the books we have talked about. If you took notes, that's great. If you didn't, we will send it out to you. It will also have a survey that we would love to hear from you, and it will have a lot of other very useful links. And if there are any other questions, we're still waiting to hear from those and can help you out with those.
Well, we'd like to thank you for diving in with us tonight, and we wish you fair winds and following seas. And remember, reading can take us anywhere, and we have an ocean of possibilities.
Thanks for that, Beth.
Oh,
Thanks all the lovely people in the chat.
thanks.
Thank you.